Since we are just a couple days away from Christmas and the PlayStation holiday sale is going on right now, we thought of a pretty interesting video. I imagine that a lot of you guys will be getting a $50 PlayStation Store card and you'll be looking to spend it on the games available and the games that are on sale on the PlayStation Store. Well, here's what we've done. We've created the ultimate $50 game bundle containing games from a wide variety of different genres and excellent games across the board. This all comes to you at a $50 budget, actually comes a little bit under $50 at $49.50, but you get the idea. You can acquire all of these games with a $50 PSN card. Primarily, I think this would be the best to newcomers of the PlayStation 4, because with a lot of these games, I imagine if you've had your PS4 for quite a while, you would already own them. But without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's get started off with the most expensive game, the game taking away the bulk of the $50, and that is, of course, what is considered by many to be the best PlayStation 4 game ever, God of War, and that is available for $25.99. So right away, we're including a game that uses over half of our budget, but I wanted to include that defining PlayStation 4 exclusive, and I really feel like God of War is that game. God of War is a tremendous experience, and better yet, if you are a newcomer to the PlayStation 4 or a newcomer to PlayStation in general, maybe you're not all too familiar with the existing God of War titles. Well, what's great about this God of War title is it is set in the world of Norse mythology instead of Greek mythology, and you can jump right in. Sure, there might be some elements that you won't get the full effect of, but the entirety of the story is still very enjoyable. The gameplay is great, there's a decent amount of content here, and of course those visuals are absolutely stunning. It is a tremendous game that has been winning countless Game of the Year awards. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but hey, the majority opinion is that God of War is an incredible game, and I definitely agree with that fact. God of War is amazing, and while it's definitely not at the cheapest price, $25.99 again is over half of our budget. This experience is one that's such a defining PS4 game, and a game that every PS4 owner really needs to have, that I feel like it's well worth it even at that heftier price point.
The responsibility is far greater. And you must be better than me. Understand?
So God of War is really going to act as that incredible action-adventure single-player experience, but you also need a quality multiplayer game, and that's why we're going to turn to Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is available for just $3.99. You might be thinking, hey, Battlefield 5 is already out, but that's still going for $30, which is relatively cheap given the fact that that game just came out, but still $30 is a bit too much, especially if you're on a tight budget, so we're going to go with Battlefield 1 instead, which is available for just $3.99. That is insane, and with Battlefield 1, I think the majority of gamers would agree that it's a better game than Battlefield 5. It's got a great single player mode, the multiplayer is still very active, and if you've been taking advantage of the free DLC offerings EA has been offering for Battlefield 1, then you'll have all the DLC from the get-go. But even if you don't have the DLC, it's a great experience in its own, and again, the single player campaign is quality as well, so not only do you get a quality multiplayer component with a ton of depth, you'll also get a pretty decent single player mode as well. So Battlefield 1 is going to be your great multiplayer game and available for just $4. That's a no-brainer. There are a couple of other good multiplayer options. Of course, Titanfall 2 is on sale for $5.99. If you prefer the presentation of Titanfall, if you like mechs, maybe that might be the game to go with, but Battlefield 1 a little bit cheaper and definitely a quality-filled game.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
We control all objectives.
Braucht jemand Erste Hilfe? Hier, Mann, Erste Hilfe!
We have lost objective button.
Moving on from that, the Wipeout Omega Collection is down to $5.99, and that's an awesome deal, and this can act as a great arcade racing experience. I don't think the PlayStation 4 is really associated with having these great racing games. The Xbox One, of course, has Forza Horizon, the Nintendo platforms have Mario Kart. On the PlayStation 4, a lot of the racing games don't get a lot of attention. Yes, there's Gran Turismo, but we haven't seen a brand new Gran Turismo numbered entry on the PlayStation 4, and even with GT Sport, that game wasn't all that great. And comparatively speaking to a Forza Horizon, it's definitely not at that quality level. However, as far as arcade racers go, Wipeout the Omega Collection is awesome. This includes the content from Wipeout HD, Wipeout HD Fury, and Wipeout 2048, so you're getting a very complete racing experience here that when it was released and it was being sold for $39.99, I thought that was a bargain given all the content you were getting, but now the fact that it's down to $5.99, if you're remotely into arcade racers with a futuristic tone to it, Wipeout Omega Collection is an absolute buy, and this has really turned out to be one of the more hidden deals of the holiday sale that that not a lot of people are talking about. Again, people are looking towards games like God of War and some of the other titles we're going to mention on this list. The Battlefield 1 for $4. Wipeout the Omega Collection has really gone under the radar, but for the $6 you're paying for it, it's an awesome arcade racing experience. Moving on from that, Bloodborne is down to just $6.99, and of course, just like God of War, this is one of the defining PlayStation 4 exclusives, albeit unlike God of War, it didn't release in 2018, it's a couple years old at this point, but I had touted back in 2015 that Bloodborne was really the first true system-selling PlayStation 4 exclusive. We had a couple of interesting titles like Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall was okay, but Bloodborne was a true AAA title that was worth going out of your way to buy a PlayStation 4 just for the game. Of course, the game was developed by FromSoftware, and it has a lot of resemblances to the Souls titles while also having its own original flair. Of course, it's a very challenging title, but also very rewarding in the same sense. Visuals are great, gameplay is great. Coming from someone that had played the Souls games prior to Bloodborne but wasn't completely enamored by them, going into Bloodborne, I had an incredible time with it, and I feel like even if you've never played the Souls games, even if the Souls games weren't your cup of tea, give Bloodborne a shot, because from the gameplay, the setting, the visuals, it's all at a very high level, and it still holds up very well in 2018. And by the way, the base Bloodborne game is down to $6.99, but if you do want to pay a little bit more, I believe for $12 or $13, you can get the complete edition with the Old Hunters DLC. That might be worth picking up, but as far as the budget was concerned, we just stuck with the base game, but if you do want the complete Bloodborne experience, that's something to take a look at. Moving on from that, a game that I always talk very highly about is Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition. $4.49 for this. That is an easy recommendation for me. Sleeping Dogs was originally released on the PlayStation 3 back in 2012, and then it made the transition over to the PlayStation 4 with the Definitive Edition, and it had a lot of technical enhancements. It looks much better, and of course, you get all of the downloadable content, and there's a sizable amount of downloadable content, so you're getting a lot of extra content. And what about the game itself? Well, the game itself is awesome. A lot of people will compare it to Grand Theft Auto, and that's really not a right comparison with Sleeping Dogs. Yes, Sleeping Dogs is an open world crime game, but it's set in a more contained open world. There's a bigger emphasis on the narrative and the storytelling, and the hand-to-hand combat has a lot more depth to it than, say, a Grand Theft Auto. It's a different game from Grand Theft Auto, but it's a great game and a game that I always recommend. Unfortunately, it didn't do all too well commercially, and I doubt we're ever going to see a sequel to it, which is an absolute shame because, again, the game is so good. Now that it's down to $4.50, I'm always going to hammer it home. You have to check this game out because I know it's a title that so many of you missed out on.
Whatever it takes, you remember that?
So with all of those games, that brings our total to $47.50, so we have a little bit to work with, and that's why I'm throwing in Limbo. Limbo is down to $1.99, and it's a great game by Playdead. I think everybody at this point has played Limbo on some platform, but to have it on the PlayStation 4, to experience it again for just $2, it goes without saying that's an easy recommendation. However, if you do have the extra 50 cents to spare, I would also give you a recommendation for Alien Nation. That is down to $2.99. That's a fantastic shoot 'em up by Housemarque. Unfortunately, if we went with Alien Nation, that would have brought the budget to $50.50, and we couldn't break that $50 budget, but if you do have that extra 50 cents, I'll give Alien Nation a recommendation as well, because I know the majority of you guys have probably already played Limbo, and if you have no desire to replay it, well then it's probably not a good buy for you guys, but 50 cents more will get you Alien Nation, so I wanted to give that a recommendation as well to give you guys a couple of options. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, you can get a ton of great stuff for $50. With this bundle, I got you God of War, Battlefield 1, Wipeout Omega Collection, Bloodborne, Sleeping Dogs the Definitive Edition, and then you can go with either Limbo or Alien Nation. I would probably go with Alien Nation if you do have that extra 50 cents to spare, because again, I imagine the majority of you played Limbo, but either way, great games all around, and it goes to show how much $50 could really get you during the PlayStation Store's holiday sale. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.